Hi, everybody. Good morning. Happy P Day week. Happy 400th P Day week, where we had to go grab our sashes. Hi.
Hello, I had to grab my sash real quick.
Yeah, same. That's why I was kind of like running around because I was like, oh, it's actually not knotted at the bottom. So I was like, how do I put this on? So we are 400. 400
And
fabulous.
fabulous.
Fabulous. So
But not in dog years.
yeah.
It's our 400th podcast episode, and we're celebrating with all of you, friends.
Yes. So 400 and fabulous. I was going to put like 400 and flirty, but I was like, you know what? No, no. Yeah. What are
Um,
people doing these days?
I wouldn't say that 440 would describe us coaching product businesses.
I know. But you know how there's like 30 and flirty, dirty 30, whatever,
400 and tired. Does that work?
Yeah, that would have been a really great one. I feel 400 and tired. But 400 and fabulous is probably like right on.
I think you went with the right choice. Yes. How's your morning going, Minna? Mine is not that great with these humans outside my door.
Well, did you see my Instagram story where I was like, I'll
I
go
can
get some.
barely dried my hair this morning.
No. So I literally put in dry shampoo and I was like, you know what? People are going to think that I dolled up for them, but really there's just a whole bunch of dry shampoo in and put it up. But I did put on a great shirt and a sash. So that just makes up for it. But I decided, I was like, last minute, I'm going to go to Starbucks and grab a coffee
I
because
saw
we
that
did the coffee
receipt.
on us. And then it was the longest line I've ever seen in the 2 years because I remember it opened up like right before you came through Iowa in 2020. And since then, I've always felt like that was my secret one that nobody knew about it because I've never had a line there. Today was the line of all lines. And you know who I blame? Pumpkin spice latte.
As you
Like,
should.
yeah,
I
I'm
blame it
pretty
for most
sure
things in
that
life.
was it. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it back in time. Like, that's
We-
how worried I was.
So before we go too far into this
Yeah.
conversation, we should get on to
Oh,
Instagram.
yeah. Per usual. Good morning, everybody.
All right, I'm gonna go
Mhm.
live real quick. Okay, let's hope this thing works. Good morning. It's bosses and No, it's bosses in the blend. What am
No.
I even talking about? We are celebrating our 400th podcast episode, waiting for Minna to jump on. We are wearing our 400 and fabulous sashes for hitting 400 episodes, 3 million downloads. Couldn't have done it without all of you. We're so excited to kind of have this conversation today, to chit chat, to enjoy our coffees or smoothies or vodkas, depending on where you are in the world.
Mhm.
Okay, there's Minna.
Vodkas.
Vodkas. All right.
Vodkas.
And so let's see. Mina's joining me. Let's hope all the things work with the tech. Hello, Rashida. Hey, Shibooch.
Good
Hi.
morning. Hello. Oh, what a coincidence. 400 and fabulous.
Do we shop at the same store?
This is embarrassing. We're wearing the same outfit.
It's
But you actually have something very similar to
I
this.
know.
We
You
should
should
have
have
twinned
told
it
me.
up. Literally, I was scrambling, dude. Like, I was like, at first I had on a white shirt and I was like, well, this isn't going to show up very well. So hence, the quick change.
A quick
So,
change. I don't know if your headphones are connected to Instagram.
oh, hmm? Oh, shoot. It's because they're all the way down here. I was using the wrong ones. Okay, cool.
She's like, I could do this.
How's that?
I think it's better.
Okay. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry about that. It was, I was actually sitting on those, so no wonder you couldn't hear it.
I could hear it. Just sounded like you were sitting on them.
It's so muffled.
Okay. So yay, 400 episodes, 3 million downloads. I'll use my smoothie as if it's my statue that I'm winning.
My acceptance speech.
My acceptance speech. Thank you all. I couldn't have done it without you.
Well, that was a little bit of a, nah.
I didn't prepare.
Yeah, clearly. But seriously, everybody, we never imagined that we would hit, we imagined we would hit 400 episodes.
I never ever imagined
Really?
it. I barely know what episode we're on anyway.
I always knew we were going to hit a lot of episodes. I didn't know that it was going to be an hour-long episodes every time, so here we are with lots and
So
lots of hours put
400
in.
plus hours later, plus all the
Yes.
time it takes us to plan these episodes,
Oh,
1,000,000 hours
yeah.
later.
So, yeah, it probably is close to, like, 3,000,000 hours, 3,000,000 downloads, you know? So it's been really exciting, and we're so grateful to all of you for listening and for sticking with us. When we first started, we kept thinking that, are we too giggly? Do we sound like too much like two Valley girls? One in
Which,
Iowa,
by the
one
way,
in
I
the
take
actual
offense to
Valley.
that because I am
No,
in a
now you're back in the Valley, so now you take
What
offense
do
to
you mean
that.
you sounded like a valley girl? Lucky you. Just kidding.
Literally words out of your mouth, you
Totally, like,
know?
oh my god, I, like, totally a valley girl. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so you know how, like, these different things come up in your mind, and you're just like, "Should we do it? Should we not do it? How do we do it? Do we laugh too much? Do we not plan enough? It doesn't need to be." We started listening to other podcast episodes where they would do, like, a rundown in the beginning of, like, "Here's all the bullets that you're going to learn," and then they break them down. We've never done it that way. We started to for, like, maybe 2 episodes, and it was too hard, because ours are just more conversational style, and we kinda stuck with that. But I think that that's kind of something that we could talk about today is staying out of people's, like, you need to, put your blinders on because they're not thinking anything usually, and stay out of their heads kind of, and stay out of their wallets. So lots of times we're thinking like, what are people thinking? Are they thinking that we're too giggly? Are they thinking that, who are these two girls think they are, starting a podcast or starting a business or whatever it is? Because those thoughts creep into your head, but really nobody's thinking anything, you know?
I mean, some of them might be, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They'll go
I
find
mean,
another podcast. Um,
yes, yes.
I think, and the thing that I think about too is, well, you and I never did it perfect. We were never like, we need a script. It needs to be edited perfectly. We have to do it, this way. I will tell you that when we started, I don't even know how to count the years. We started the podcast the beginning of 2018. That right? 18.
Yeah,
Yeah. Uh,
January 8th, 2018.
yes. Who knows what year it is. So when we started it then, I remember us feeling like we were really behind the game. We were like, God, we're like,
Yeah.
people have been podcasting forever. We're late to this. It's going to be so hard to grow. Like we didn't know what we were going to do or who we were going to be. Or what we were going to create or what kind of community that like we would build, and but we felt late to it. We were in our late 30s. We were just like, what are we, but we did it anyways. And I think that's important for all of you to realize is like just do it anyways, because you don't know what your potential is. You don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I had already closed down a company, been running my other company, which was running me into the ground. And we found this because we found joy in each other and joy in talking. And it was kind of like our hobby, I guess, or something we like to do. And then what it grew into, never like when I was a little girl, obviously I didn't grow up thinking I'm going to be a podcaster or a radio
Mhm.
show host or, it wasn't my voice that I thought that I used to think about actually my husband's an actor and musician and musical theater and he's on iTunes. Like he has records. He's on Broadway musicals. And I was like, gosh, his voice is going to last longer than our lives.
Well, I
And
kinda have a funny story about that because do you remember, so we took our personality test, and so we're opposites. So fun fact, everybody that has stuck with us for a long time knows that we're complete opposites on the Myers-Briggs, so no letter in common. So they put a name to each of these, and mine is the architect, because I, plan it out, break it down, that sort of thing. Jacqueline's was the entertainer. She would fight tooth and nail on that description because she's like,
well, and guess what?
I
My husband's not the
yeah,
entertainer
yes.
in the
So that's what she would
Myers-Briggs.
say. That's literally what you would say. You'd be like, "No, I'm not the entertainer. My husband is the entertainer." And I was like, "Clearly, you're the entertainer." So it took you a minute to like step into it, I guess, but I
Yeah.
think it was always there.
Yeah, I think, and that's the thing within my own circles with my own friends, I was funny, haha. And then
Only funny haha people say no.
haha. I've been friends with a lot of introverts, by the way. And then and then my husband might be in his groups with his actor friends. Oh my goodness. Like, and they're big actors at this point. And I'd watch them
Which
like
nobody be watching that. It's hopefully, when it was, there it's imagine a drama club, I would imagine.
I mean, it's something. And all the girlfriends at that point, we'd always be like, oh my God, like they're so embarrassing. But together, they were like singing and doing a cappella. And like, even though
And
James was the
loving
only
their
singer,
lives, I bet.
loving. And we'd always be like, oh my God, they're so embarrassing. But who are they embarrassing to? We're all in the same group. So, and then it would sort of be like they would banter off of each other and I would sit there quietly. So it's really interesting. It's really interesting. And I think this is the same for you in finding our voice.
Yeah.
And I think people always talked about that like when you're in your 40s, eventually you, as a woman at least, you start to find your voice. Like the other stuff starts to not matter, the 20-year-old, 30-year-old brain. And you find that voice. And we were really lucky that we kind of gave ourselves that opportunity in our late 30s. So I want you all to realize no matter where you are in your journey, because Mina and I have been entrepreneurs since when did you start? I started when I was 26. How old were you?
I was 24.
Okay, 2 years on
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But we've been entrepreneurs since our early 20s, right? When other people were working for people, they were getting their first jobs. I had gone into corporate and then decided to leave it for chance because I had chances that people gave me that were more like startups. And I think I think that entrepreneurship journey, like you and I have both created a lot of different things. We've done a lot of different
Mhm.
things, and it's been really exciting. Not to say it's not stressful. I remember back in the day, I was like, oh my goodness, I have to pay for like team members and myself and my family. And it felt like this like weight or burden. But I think now what's so cool, and I was watching this documentary last night, which we could talk about another point. But when you're an entrepreneur, the sky is the limit for what you can create, whether it's the type of business you want, your financial gain, your life, your hours, like all of it. Like you get to take control of your own destiny and you get to grow it into something incredible. And you may not even know in the very early days the seeds you're planting or what you're creating. So that is where we are now. That's my acceptance speech. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mina. Thank you, team. Thank you, God. No, but I just want to say I want you all to realize like you can take the leaps,
And
jump.
keep James's name out of your mouth.
You do it with 2 little babies at home because we had 2 little babies. Um, I just, and I think also like no matter what your age, we were just someone in our mastermind. Um, she is a zookeeper for 30
Yeah.
years, right?
Yeah.
Completely dedicated her life to animals and helping animals. And I think in her 50s is when she started her new company, which she's top 1% of Etsy. She's been featured in tons of magazines.
Mhm.
She's supporting her older mom. She's living her life now, and it's a different life than the one she spent 30 years creating. So I think for all of you, like I want you to it's never too late. You just have to take that step forward. There's such possibility for everyone, no matter where you are, 24 years old, like Mina, or, in
Yeah.
your 60s, it irrelevant.
Yeah. It was 24 years old because I had gotten my MBA. So this is back in 2004. So do the math on that. It was a long time
Can't
ago.
do the math.
And so I never actually went back and worked for anybody once I got my MBA. I quit my job, started getting clients. So I was doing a lot of entrepreneurial things before the internet was even like as big as it is. And so it was more so like I got local clients. I started doing design work. I would just, do different things. And you can even ask my sister. So I was kind of thinking about this because I went out this past weekend to Thai Village. It's something that my sister volunteers for. My sister is very social compared to me. And I was exhausted, let me tell you. Went there 2 days in a row, but I want to support her because she's always like supported me. And so I was talking to so many people that I hadn't seen before since like 2019, to be honest. And before the pandemic. And then I was thinking back to like my sister and how she's always like I've had crazy ideas for my whole entire life. Like
You
probably
too.
like crazy ideas. And she's always been like, she's never ever doubted that I could do any of them. Probably more so like I would just I'd be like, okay, I'm going to get into real estate, or okay, I'm going to, I remember one of the times I was going to start a candle business. It was like candle wax dipped bears, like when that was really in. Anyways, I did not, or scrapbooking or whatever ended up being. And I started a lot of businesses, and it was just one of those things that I would do. Now I always had like some way of making money and things like that. So I wasn't worried about it, but I think from the outside in, people probably could have been worried about it. Now, the thing is, the reason I was able to do those things is because I've always had, for example, my husband supporting me and other people believing in me. And I think that the easiest way to stop people from talking about you is that to not care.
Just stop them from talking
Yeah,
about
like,
it.
it's like fueling the energy of that, I think is one big thing. Like, you have to really put your blinders on. I think that's the number one thing that will hold people back is them feeling like that feeling of what are people thinking. And so when I went out this past weekend, people were like, "So what do you do now? What are you up to? Blah, blah, blah." And I, updated them, or they already knew, which was crazy, just from Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And turns out nobody thinks anything poorly or badly or anything like that. It's just like, I think it gets in our head sometimes, like to compare ourselves to other people, or that what are people thinking, or should I do this, or I think it holds us back in so many different ways.
I think the thing about that though is that I work with a life coach. I know a lot of you have heard me discuss my life coach, Stacy, and I actually really care about what other people think. Like really care about it. And it's a problem, right? Sometimes it is. And for me, for example, I'll give you a really quick example. If I'm having people come over to my house, I start to spin out because I'm like, the house is messy. It doesn't look right. Like it's supposed to be this way. And I remember when my in-laws were coming to New Jersey to visit us for Christmas, and I was like, the house is just still such a mess. And it was really this big rub for me and my husband. And she said, look, both your in-laws are going to walk in, you know, dad and mom. They're both going to have totally different thoughts. Then they're not going to have a shared thought. They're not both going to walk in and be like, oh my gosh, the laundry's all over the couch. Each of them are going to have a different thought. And I have no control over the thought they're having. And she's like, and what if their thought is they're just so happy to be here with their grandkids, for example? And she's like, and if it's not, they're their own independent thoughts. And I remember thinking, oh, the thoughts I'm projecting onto them are the thoughts I think that they're having, right? And so that was one of the first times for me where I was just like, I'm going to let it go because you can't control other people's thoughts about you, right? So I think here's the thing. You and I are both really lucky that we did have a support system. I think being first generation Americans, our parents came here and they had to basically build from nothing. There was nothing like there was no
Oh, I
prerequisites.
didn't even tell them though.
They still don't know that you're a podcaster. They think what? You're a lawyer, doctor? What do they think you're doing?
Pharmacist wife.
Pharmacist wife. Oh, you're so pretty. You like, I always wake up like this. But I think our families, though, we saw it. We were raised with that. Though they came over with zero, they
Yeah, with nothing.
with
Mhm.
nothing, and they had to create from nothing. And I think that there's sometimes, people who my husband has like their streets named after his family here in LA. So they've been here a long time. And I think for them, it's generational. There's things that are built in. There's, people go to USC in their family. There's that kind of stuff. So I think for all of you, here's where I want to put it. Some of you have the support system you're looking for, and some of you may not, right? Well, I remember when I left UC Santa Barbara to go to art school, friends' parents were like, your parents are letting you drop out of a UC. Like I worked really hard to get into a UC, and they're like, your parents letting you drop out to go to art school. I was like, yeah, I wasn't dropping out. I was transferring. And they had their own thoughts and beliefs around it. So if you don't have the people around you that are there to support you, that's why I'm glad that you're here. We're
Yeah,
behind you. This community
right.
is behind you. You're around other people doing entrepreneurship, and taking risks, and you're scrappy and creative. So I just want you to like it. Yes, if you're worried about other people, but come here because we're not judging you. We're here. We're in it with you, and we care about you.
Yeah, for sure. And when I say, my parents were supportive and not supportive, meaning that I always knew my worst case scenario would be I would end up, you know, on the factory line next to them. That's literally what they would say to us, you
Because
know,
they worked
because they were
in the meat
factory workers,
factories.
right?
Yeah.
And they wanted more for us. And so I wanted to fulfill that. So a lot of times when people are, you know, unsure of what you're doing, they don't understand it, right? They're not comfortable in it. And, and it makes both of you all worried, so it's not that they weren't supportive. It was that I had to do it despite feeling like I might let them down, you know and so I think that when you get a community around you, and also like when you're talking about the story of your in-laws and that sort of thing, I think we have all of our own insecurities. So like I heard this saying one time that was like, comparison and jealousy is built on insecurities. And it's always stuck with me because I always knew, okay, I need to look inward of why I feel insecure about that, if that's what's bringing it up for me. Like, is that if I, feel like, oh, for me, it's like feeling like I'm a bad mom, for example, right? And what would people think of that I'm a bad mom sort of scenario? So we all have things like that create a loop in our brain. And I think that for all of us, you need somebody else to remind you that nobody's usually thinking of anything and you shouldn't worry about it, even if they are. So, for example, Jacqueline and I will oftentimes repeat over and over, stay out of your customer's wallet. It is none of your business because you
Let's
don't
just
need to be thinking about,
Let's
yeah,
just explain what that means.
yeah.
Sometimes a lot of you are thinking, I can't raise my prices. My customers aren't
Mhm.
going to pay for it. They can't afford it. You're having all these
What if
conversations
they
about,
say something
yeah.
about me raising my prices,
Then, there's a lot. I can't afford a Porsche. Like, I'm not rolling up. So you think that Porsche's upset that I can't afford their car? Or are they just thinking, like, she's not our customer. We're going to go find someone else, right? Or Ferraris or something like that. So you have to stay out of their wallets because you need to pull in the right customers. There's a customer for everyone and
Yeah.
let the other ones not go there.
They get
Or,
to choose how they spend their money. You don't
yeah,
need to judge on them that they shouldn't be spending on your product or it's too expensive to justify them purchasing it. People are still affording Starbucks. Let me tell you,
like
that line was
venti
crazy.
Starbucks, 16 pumps
Yeah.
of vanilla, 3 extra
Yeah.
espresso shots, $10 later.
Yes. PSL season, give me an apple cider and a PSL, and on top of it, like I could, as like, let's say I sold candles, I could be like, you know what? I have this pumpkin spice candle. I need to raise the price on it, but people can't afford it. They can afford it if they want to. You don't have to make the decision for them,
I
you
do wanna
know?
just say, a couple people are resonating with this. So,
Hmm.
um, someone said, "Oh my gosh, yes, my teenage daughter, Kat, your teenage daughter is quite, advanced, like old soul over here. My teenage daughter once told me, 'Mom, her bank account is not your responsibility.'" And Becky said, "If they value your products, they will find the means." And some people, so here's what I wanna say though about they'll find the means. True, because if we think about our iPhones, our iPod, like these are iPods, right? No,
AirPods.
AirPods.
Uh-huh.
You know how
I
old I am
think.
now when I'm saying iPod.
iTunes. They're iTunes buds.
Is iTunes around? No, it's Apple Music now. Anyways, Apple, thanks for confusing the old ladies over here. Now, but like people buy those, right? But I will sort of disagree with if they value your products, they will find the means. I agree and I don't agree. The
Mhm.
reason I say that is that yes, people buy more than your product. So I'm not going to say that they disregard the value of your candle. It's just that it doesn't call their name or they disregard that your mug, right? It's just not for them or they're going to look at it and they're going to say, people buy more than what it actually is or what it's made out of,
Yeah.
right? They buy based on feelings and
Their
how it's going to make them
emotions,
feel, emotions.
yeah, their desire. So, for example, if you see two candles and Jacqueline's has two candles in front of her, there's citrus mandarin and there's lavender.
Here, I'll show you my 2 candles in
Yeah.
front of me.
Yeah.
We could
So for
talk about
her,
them.
she's looking at it and she has her own thoughts, not your thoughts that you put on her, but she has her own thoughts. So her thoughts are like, oh, I really love the smell of lavender. It reminds me of Los Angeles. I actually picked lavender I'm making these stories up. Okay. I picked lavender when I was a kid with my grandparents, whatever it was. So we don't know what's happening in her brain. Whereas like the citrus mandarin, it might not have the same emotion, the same stories, the same desire. So in that case, that's what I mean about perception, the value in someone's mind. It's much more than the product, because you don't know what other scripts are going in their mind, how they'll justify the price, all those things. If they want something, if their body desires it, if they have stories in their brain that are going, if they're like, oh gosh, this would bring me back to that time, there's other reasons why they would buy it besides, you know what, I just value that this is a candle that's well made,
So I'll
you know?
explain these 2 candles. One, I like
Yeah.
the smell, okay? This one's
Hmm.
called Garden, this one's Prickly Pear. Love the smells of them, they're both kind of sweet. They look very different, right? This one is from Magnolia when I was in Waco, Texas at the silos. I'd actually spent a lot of money on a different vase or like updated vase. And then we went over to their outlet shop and they had the older packaging and I ended up buying a few of these too. So the smell is what got me. But the fact that I was at Magnolia, at the silos, I was buying, that was my like choice of what I
The
wanted to buy,
memory.
the memory and take that home. Okay. There's nothing else special about this. The smell is really lovely, but it was because of where I was. Okay. Which is they have a TV show and all the things. This one was Elijah Rising, is Elijah Rising. We had found them. We supported this charity for a very long time. And it says, our candles are hand poured in small batches through artisans in Houston, Texas. We use thoughtfully unique fragrances. Your purchase of this candle provides skills, income, and opportunity for women rebuilding their lives. So a lot of women that were leaving like sex trafficking, really bad situations, they actually would teach them how to become an artisan and to start to make their own money, right? And so there was more meaning to this too. Now,
Yeah. And their prickly pear happens to be their
that's
signature
so
scent
yeah.
because of the cactus and the thorns and getting through hard things, and, and still thriving from that.
Yeah. So that one had a story attached to it, which you're not all going to have that kind of
Which,
story. Yeah, and we
here, I
used to
have
give
one
them
too.
out because we really believed in what was behind it, plus the smell was good, right? So no
Yeah.
matter what, it's going to be smell based for this particular idea.
Mhm.
But then there's going to be the things that are like the physical components, the way it's made, that kind of thing. But then there's going to be the story behind it. And you're right in the way that they what they value, because it's what is important to them. Like, how does it make them feel? So whenever you're
Yeah.
making your products and so when we say keep your head out of their wallets, you need to you need to be profitable businesses.
Mhm.
And so when you work with us, you're in multi-stream machine, you do our pricing module, you work with us in any of our programs. We're all about pricing your stuff correctly, not what
Yeah.
you think people are going to buy, not what Etsy's telling you to do, because you need to be able to pay yourself. Like, you are the priority to us. Your business
Mhm.
is the priority to us. And if you work with us and you listen to how we teach and you start to find the right customers, you pull the right people in, because we're always going to repel people. People might not like our giggles and our ha-has, and we might not be too serious in business. And some people
Mhm.
love us. And so we're going to repel, we're going to attract, and we're going to create the right, let's call it like community customers, whatever that is. And that's what I want you all to realize too. But you have to take care of yourself, which means you have to be priced correctly, you know,
Mhm.
and you have to make a profit. So keep your head out of people's wallets.
Yeah. So a lot of times people will be like, "Well, my customer that I have can't afford that." Who's to say they can't afford that? You know? You don't know anything about their wallets, you know?
Mhm.
So, but the thing is, you get to do what you want to do and you'll start to attract the right people. So for example, there'll be customers that won't think, "Oh, this is too expensive." There'll be customers that will be like, "Ooh, this is really important to me and the price is right on."
Mhm.
Or there'll be customers that will be like, "Ooh, I love this price because it's not so super cheap that I think there's something wrong with it."
Right.
So there's lots of different things that go into play when you're thinking about pricing. But I think that overall, the whole thing that I want you to think about is that we have one life. And, I was saying this because I actually popped up on my personal Instagram. I've been over there here and there, that it was our 400th podcast day because I thought it felt so exciting, and 3 million download. And I said, I wanted to share what I learned in this this journey. And I said, you have one life to live. You need to find your voice in this world, whatever it is. And it truly doesn't matter what people think. And the people that are there during the easy, the hard, the happy, the sad, they're going to be the ones that make it worthwhile. So you're living your life. You have one life to live. Make the candles you want, make the jewelry you want, sell it at the price that you need to be profitable. Live your life. Don't let others cloud your thoughts in that, because they're probably not thinking anything. And if they are, it doesn't really matter. And then on top of it, you don't need to think for them either. It goes both ways, you know? So stay out of their wallets. You build the business that's right for you, get into the community, find the support, and that will help you immensely because you'll need that encouragement along the way.
Mhm. So does that resonate with all y'all? I think that a lot of people are saying yes. And Becky, I like your point. What I meant was, as a single mom working 2 jobs might place a higher value on your product and decide to save for it. Whereas a lady with
Yep.
a Lexus might not care about it, so she won't go out of her way. So you shouldn't judge your leads that way. True. And that's why,
Yep.
for example, at designer stores like Chanel, Louis Vuitton, all those places, they have cheaper products, right? They have keychains. They have it kind of like easier to reach, so somebody could buy something that makes them aspire for what they're going to have eventually, right? Or that they want to save up for. I remember on my wall of my office, it used to say Chanel ain't gonna buy itself. That was my driving factor pre-kids, right? I really, as a fashion designer, I really wanted to own, you know, design houses things, and like clothes were not the thing I wanted. I wanted the bags. You're never going to grow out of a bag. so um that's the thing. So you're right, like people will save for something, or they'll buy it used, or they'll buy the keychain version of it, right? And then, like you said, a woman with a Lexus, she might roll up to Louis Vuitton and buy 3 bags at once. And that's the point too. There's aspiration for everyone of any product at any price point, right? Like Rothy's shoes, for example, they're $50 shoes. I
Hmm.
remember feeling like that was expensive for me. Like I remember being like, I'm not going to buy $150 shoes, but I do buy $150 shoes. It's just that those shoes weren't the shoes I like you said valued, weren't the ones that I wanted to spend my $150 on.
It's where you value comfortable shoes. So, for
Yes.
example, I went to lunch with one of my friends, Jessica. She's having a hard time sleeping. And I was telling her about this Aura ring. So, this Aura ring is a digital ring, it
Oh,
tracks
mine's
your sleep,
upstairs.
and it's like $400. It's pretty expensive. And but it keeps track of your heartbeat. It tells you when your ideal time of sleep is. I showed her the app, all these different things. And there's people that won't buy it because they'll think, hey, that is too expensive, or it doesn't apply to my life. My value of sleep isn't as high as Mina's, right?
Do
Or
you know, can I
Jess's,
say
right?
something? My brother, I
Uh-huh.
told him about it and he goes, "Why do you need to track your sleep?" I sleep. And I was like,
Yeah, right. A
because there's some
hundred
people who
percent.
they don't, that's not even in their like wellness, or sleep
Yeah.
wellness isn't even a concern of theirs, you know?
Well, he probably is not a sleep deprived mother of 2 or
Or
whatever, or
he
business owner of 2.
doesn't care. Like he doesn't sleep very much, but he
Yeah,
doesn't care. So
but he
that's
doesn't
fine.
value as much of it,
Yes.
So he's not willing to try to solve the problem with a product or places that much value on it, because believe it or not, I could track my sleep without this thing. I mean, who would have thought me, that,
How?
it's like you would write down when you go to sleep
I know,
and
but you
things
don't
like
know
that.
like when your REM is happening, or how many times you woke up, or how your
Yeah,
breathing
there's
rate.
added value there. What I'm saying is that if I didn't hold sleep as high as a
Right.
value in my wellness, then I could do it other ways. I wouldn't, want to purchase this. So I think that for everybody, there's going to be a customer, and there's going to be like a sliding scale of how much they're willing to um how much it holds value in their life. So there might be people who are really into sleep. I feel like I'm getting more into that. Just like there's a lot more people that are thinking about hormone cycling and stuff like that, and applying that to their lives, or getting steps in, or drinking water, or whatever. These are just wellness things that I'm talking about. But and there's some people that don't care about that at all because they don't need to. They haven't worried about it. My husband would never buy this. That guy hits the pillow asleep. I swear, like super
You know
annoying.
why? It's because 'cause you're talking to him.
No,
That's what my
I'm
husband says.
not talking to
He
him.
falls asleep. Because I always talk to him right before he needs to
Maybe
go to bed.
that's James. I barely talk to him.
The sound
Mostly
of
we're
my voice
laying,
really puts him to sleep. The sound and I'm always like, I hit him. I'm like, "Are you sleeping? I'm having like a deep conversation." He's like, "Dude, it's 11:30. Have this conversation with me earlier."
No. Most times we'll be chatting, but usually when we go to bed, it's a wind down time. So I'll be like, um, doing rolling on my face, breathing, doing the calm out, things like that. And then he'll be like, I'm not even tired, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden he's freaking sleeping and snoring. And I could literally choke him to death in his sleep because I'm like, I need to fall asleep before you, you know?
This is recorded.
So
So do not murder him at night.
but
There are
everybody
times
who
I want to slap him while he's sleeping. I'm not
yeah,
gonna lie.
so that just shows you, like, the value I have on sleep because I'm like my value of sleep is really high up there because I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, I need to fall asleep." I'm a light sleeper. Like, last night my daughter had a nightmare, I had to run over to her, because he doesn't even wake up through that, you know?
I had
I'm
2
just like
children sleeping in bed with me last night because they both had individual nightmares. I was like, "I'm so hot." Oh, you hear me talking about you? And also, by the way, both are home because they both don't feel good today. I'm like, liars, but no one has time. I had to get on Bosses in the Blend.
Your kids are both home?
Yes. Oliver has a headache.
Oh, stop!
And then Willa walks out and then she goes, I think I'm going to throw up. I was like, maybe because it's 106 degrees here in LA. And so I was like, fine, you guys get till 9:00 to either throw up or go to sleep. And then
Oh
you're going back
my.
to school. So I had no time. I had to get on the show. No, that's the blend, my friends. Speaking of choking your husbands at night while they're sleeping,
Because they're sleeping and snoring. And
because
I
they
should
sleep
really
like
be the one
babies.
falling asleep first. Yes.
I'm like, what are you saying at the door? You told dad what I said? Okay,
I
good.
told him. Oh, wow. Well, snitches get stitches. Just kidding.
Mina goes, Willa, snitches get stitches.
True.
It's true, he
I
said.
don't want to know that.
What did you say I said?
Like me.
I do like you. She can't hear the other side of this conversation.
Why do you want to
We're
slap
talking
me
about
in the
how
face?
easy it is for you guys to fall asleep. And I said it's
And the
usually 'cause of
opposite.
Kiki. The opposite, which
Yeah.
is hard for us to sleep.
Sorry, hold on. I just fell asleep. Say
Oh,
that
he
again.
just said he just fell asleep. Say that again. Jerk. Get out of here.
Your voice lulls him to sleep.
It does usually when I'm in serious conversation.
You might have a serious conversation at like 11.
That's what I said. I said it all. I'm not lying over here. You're not going to worry about it. They're all home. They're all here. But where was I going? Because I had somewhere to go with the sleeping. I know. Speaking of sleeping. Okay, I have a question. This is a test. Pop quiz, hot shot. How many of you would spend $180 on a super soft blanket? I want to know, like, if I said this is a super soft, like cozy blanket, super trendy. They're selling it at Bloomingdale's and Nordstrom's. It's $180. Would you all be like, yes, sign me up? Or would you feel like $180 for a blanket? Like, is this made of gold? Like what's your opinion on that? So I'm getting nopes, no's. Does anyone know what company I'm talking about that have super soft $180 blankets? Does it breathe? Lisa said. No,
Yeah.
I mean, it's breathable. So, okay. So we're getting a lot of no's. So someone said maybe.
I think that's because so the thing is what you're doing though is going on price comparison.
Right.
So but there's as we said other factors in there. Are you having trouble sleeping? Is it breathable? Is your husband like are you ready to murder him and you want to prevent from murdering him?
So you need a cute, cozy, comfy blanket.
Yeah. Is it the right weight for you? Like, not too thick, not too thin. Is the right color? Things like that. Yeah. If it's weighted, because I have hands down spent that amount of money on blankets, on a bed, like, because I know, like, I sleep in that bed every single day.
This is just a throw blanket. Okay.
Yeah.
This is just a throw blanket. Okay.
Okay.
And you know what? I saw somebody who's like a podcaster like us that I guess I realized that this person has had this like a blanket like this for years. Okay. I've just discovered in the last year. Then I started rolling into Nordstrom's during the holiday season and they had piles of them and people were buying them. And my mom was giving them out as gifts. And yes, it's a throw. It's $180. It's super, super soft. Okay. A lot of you are saying no. Well, this company is called Barefoot Dreams. Okay. They've been around for 20 something years. The owner, to the point that the owner is not even alive anymore because the owner started a long time ago, and it's not weighted. This is Barefoot Dreams. You can Google it. And they're at Nordstrom's Rack now. So by the way, if you want that $180 blanket for $60, you can get it on sale because they had a lot of excess inventory. So they had to sell it to Nordstrom's Rack. But that company made, wait for it, $90 million last year. Okay. So a lot of you are saying, no, I'm not going to spend money on a blanket like that. No, unless it's like, this or that or the other. But there are enough customers out there in the world that value they value the brand, right? Like the way, like it's in Nordstrom's, it's in Bloomingdale's. Like people go in and they're like, it's already a higher level of a brand, right? It's not at Macy's.
I love what Catherine said. Where did she go?
If it's marketed the right way, possibly.
Yes. If it's marketed to me the right way, possibly. See,
Right.
that's the thing with marketing is like marketing is everything. That's what it is. It's attracting the right customer, messaging to them the right way. And then it will either attract the right person that loves Nordstrom Rack, that likes the feel of the blanket, that wants a soft blanket, that likes the look of it, that it's incorporated into a house, versus the other thing, which repels the wrong people, which is good too. Right? Because some of the people would be like, "Ooh, I would never shop at Nordstrom Rack," or "Soft isn't my ideal. I would need it to be weighted." Right? So I hold a bigger value on weight than I do softness.
Or Maureen, she could get $10 to $14 throws at TJ Maxx. There are ones that feel like it, but they're not because they don't have the label or they don't have the print, right? That's the same idea of Uggs. You can get knockoff Uggs, or you can get Uggs that say Ugg on the back. So,
or acetaminophen and Tylenol, they're exactly the same thing. One's a generic,
right. So when I say that, I want you all to just realize too that this company's been around for over 2 decades, and we've only discovered them in the last 1 to 2 years. Nordstrom started carrying them. It was probably around people who were, again, like maybe the UGG shopper was also buying the Barefoot Dreams throw, gifting $180 throw blankets to people left and right. And none of you knew about this company, but yet they made $90 million last year. So I want you to realize how big you can grow your business, where even the majority of people may not know, but the people who know because they're your customers, or people who are aspirational. I remember thinking, I'm not going to spend $180 on a throw. I saw them at Nordstrom's Rack. I bought 2. So I ended up spending almost $180, but I got 2.
Hard pass it.
I mean, because you don't value it. But I was like, ooh, because I like labels. I'm going to just say it. I'm a label person. So I was like, ooh, it is aspirational to me, but I like a good deal. So I got it at a good deal. So I'm still a customer that it was aspirational for, but I wasn't rolling into Nordstrom's and paying full price. But when I saw the option of it, you either wait for it to go on sale or I saw it in Nordstrom's Rack, I bought it. So I just want you all to realize that there are different tiers of people. There will be a huge amount of people that don't ever know you exist, but there are enough customers in this world to build the brand is Barefoot Dreams. There are enough people in this world that will buy from you and can help you build a beautiful business at whatever profitable revenue generating level you want to bring it to. And it doesn't matter if all the people don't know about it. It doesn't matter if you have 1,000 followers or 50,000 followers or 100,000 followers, because it's about finding the right customers, attracting the right customers, speaking to them where they need to be spoken to, and selling them the product. The merch studio says, I want one and I don't even know what it is yet.
That's a power of influence. I've heard about it. I'm not impressed.
Oh, so you're saying the one I'm shipping to you in the mail, you're just not going to value that?
No, I'm kidding. So I wanted to say that because people hold different values, right? Like you love the label, but a lot of times what you're buying is things you wear, jewelry, fashion, because you're a fashion designer.
Yes.
Me, I love the luxe version of tech. For example, I only buy Apple. I only buy Aura rings. I only buy watches, anything that has function. Like I just bought this really, really cool typewriter thing that looks like an old school typewriter, but you connect it to my iPad Pro, and it looks like very retro, and it's really cool looking. Anyways, clearly I have different values of I like things that are aesthetically pleasing for the tech that I use. Or if it's sleep, like that blanket that I have that's weighted, it's actually gorgeous. Like it's this beautiful like sage green color, and it's cooling down material. It's like a little bit of like a sateen material. Like it's beautiful. So I think that for all of you, when you're thinking about there's so many and just think it's not like I'm ever going to own just one blanket. So when you're thinking about like you get those people, you get them to buy again, or you get them to gift it, or you get them to, I mean, I have maybe 100 candles in this house easily,
And
you know?
blankets?
Oh,
I
and the
need
amount
like
of jewelry and earrings.
I mean, the amount of space I need in my house to put the blankets away is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So we each have mugs. Let's all talk about what our mug cupboards look like. Okay.
We don't talk about it. That's what I said to my husband. Let's just, they're all being used.
I, I helped my sister move into her house and I kept pulling out mugs and be like, do you really need this? She's like, we really need this. And I was like, do you though? Meanwhile, I went and I bought myself look how big it is, the biggest mug. Because I needed another mug. And I was like, oh, I want a really big mug. Right. So
Uh-huh.
all of you, I think, this idea is like throw out the idea of they have enough or they're not going to spend this kind of money. Or because some people are like, haha, those three for me too. Yeah. We all have multiple things. I mean, we're no longer in the world of like the 50s where they had one nice dress and one pair of shoes. I mean, we're in excess over here. And know that also what you sell though, they can have multiples. They can buy from other companies. They can buy from you over and over, especially if they like it. And journals. Yes, Lisa. It's like,
Oh my God. The amount of journals and notebooks that I have that are empty, I
how
could
about
open up.
pens?
Yeah. So
Pens
many
too.
pens. Yeah.
I mean, what
So
else? I'm just
many.
looking around. Books. I mean, all the things. Face oils, body sprays. I mean, all the things. So that's the thing, right? So I guess what we want you to take from this is like stay out of other people's thoughts. What my life coach says, it's compare and despair. You compare and then you're in despair. And then I saw someone talk about the only person, it was probably a celebrity, the only person they ever compare to is themselves from the past. So compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Compare yourself to who you were last year. Right? Compare yourself to yourself. And if you're always advancing, moving in a different direction, moving forward, taking steps forward, taking risks, all these things, then be proud of yourself. And like Minna said, put your blinders on and block the rest out. If Minna and I compared ourselves to other podcasters that had been in business for 3-5 years before us, and we said, they're so big, we're never going to get there, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Yeah. It would be
Um,
so discouraging.
yeah, if we let that stop us. And also then if we said we have to be different, we have to speak differently, we have to change the way we coach, like don't laugh, be a serious business person, then we
Mhm.
also wouldn't have been as successful because our personalities and dynamic are the thing that hopefully has attracted so many of you. I mean, if you're listening, if we hit
Well,
3
it's
million
attracted some
downloads,
people, it repelled others, like what we
right?
were saying, right? So, for example, it's like a lot of times we try to cater to what we think other people want from us, what people expect from us. Perhaps we need to be more serious or, less chatty or whatever ends up being. And then that's just a different thing. You attract a different customer. But it's you. The idea of, in one of our courses, we have the customer and your anti-customer. You should be okay with repelling your anti-customer because let them live their lives. They're birds that are going to fly to other brands and be happier. Or maybe they buy one thing from you and they buy other things from a different brand. It doesn't mean that they can only buy from you. And so, and you don't, your thoughts are not their thoughts.
Right. So I hope that this morning conversation or afternoon conversation, all of you, the blend of, we talked about this last week, but we don't believe in juggling. We don't believe in balance. Balance means that you have, we're going to fall, right? Balance is like you're going to
Mhm.
fall. And juggling means there's a ball always in the air and you might drop some balls. The blend means it's messy, just like your morning smoothie, but we're blending it together anyways. We're doing the best we can. Last night I had to work late and I told my daughter, just lay down. And here I lit a candle. I worked in the dark and I let her fall asleep. Right. Or like my kids are home right now. The blend is showing up as you are. The blend is being who you want to be and still doing it anyways. So I hope that this all resonates with you, but I think we should talk about in the last couple of minutes, the gift we have given them on Instagram.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Go for it.
So we are treating you to coffee on us. Why? Because you deserve it. And so there's a little scan barcode. If you go to at the product boss, make sure that you
On
follow
Instagram.
us. Yeah, on Instagram. And all you do is have them scan that barcode. There is a limited amount on there, so you won't be able to, so get there as soon as you can and grab that pumpkin spice latte or apple cider or whatever ends up being. But we're hoping that all of you can enjoy a sweet treat on us or a coffee. It doesn't have to be sweet.
So grab yourself a
I
cup of
tend
coffee.
to not love sweet coffees. That's why I was like, no, you don't have to get it sweet if you don't want to.
What's your order when you get coffee?
So I order lately. This one, for example, is a triple oat milk latte.
Yeah, I get oat milk lattes, 1 pump hazelnut typically.
I only like the smell of hazelnut and only if it has chocolate. So I'm really particular about hazelnut. I can't drink any coffee.
So we each have our own version, our own flavor profile.
So what we're willing to pay for, I'm willing to pay for no hazelnut,
And I'm willing to add the extra 85 cents for oat milk and the extra cents for a pump. But yeah, so we have that for you. Yes, share your drink orders with us. We have that for you. It's got limited funds. So first to get it. If it runs out, my friends. But it's there. We want to treat you for coffee. Go ahead and use that barcode. That's our thank you to all of you. And then the other thing we want to talk about, and I would love to see in the comments, is how many of you are signed up for Rock Your Holiday Promotions Challenge. So if you were already in the holiday workshop series with us, you have an automatic in to the Rock Your Holiday Promotions Challenge, but that's kicking off on Monday. So let me know if you're in and if you're excited, because we're so excited. We're getting lots of me's, I am's. If you're not, come join us. Come sign up. You can go to rockyourholidaypromotions.com. You can sign up. It's totally free for 5 days. And those of you, here's another gift that keeps giving. If you're inside the Facebook group that's specific for the workshops and challenge, we have gifts we're giving away all week. So Jennifer, what have we given away so far this week and what's
prizes, like big prizes?
Big prizes. So she's going to update me on where we're at with the gift giving. So if you're in there, we have every day there's a call to action and we're giving something away. We also, for our 400th podcast episode, we're giving away $400 gift card on Instagram. So
the $400 gift card is to Amazon, I believe, or Target. I can't remember which one.
That's on Instagram. And then we have today we're giving away our lighting kit on Amazon. Jennifer says, yeah. Today we're giving away our lighting kit. We already gave away an iPad and an espresso machine. Okay. So congrats to the winners there. But today we're giving away our lighting kit that we use. Tomorrow we're giving away a Dymo printer. And on Friday, one lucky winner is going to win access to our signature program, which is multi-stream machine. And so these are some amazing things. So get in there, make sure you're participating inside the Facebook group, head to rockyourholidaypromotions.com and be in the group, and then show up on Monday to spend those 5 days with us. Show up on Monday because this is going to be the thing that changes the course of your life. This is going to be the thing that's going to help set you up to prepare for the holiday season. This is going to be that thing you can lean on. We're here to support you. And also just help you make a beautiful revenue generating profitable business right now in the holiday season and beyond.
Yes. And somebody says they want the Dymo. This is a girl.
Everybody should want it.
Yeah, everybody should want this. This is a life changer. Everybody should want multi-stream machine if you don't have it already. That is the main prize that is going to change lives. But I feel like the Dymo will change some lives too, And then, so somebody already won the lighting kit, or no, somebody wins the lighting kit today, and there's $400 to be given away. So we're super, super excited for all of those. And make sure you jump in there and engage. This is your opportunity to be a part of a community that is doing the same thing that you are, building a dream with a physical products business, having fun right before the holidays to get prepared so we can all make more money together. And it's a community of generosity, of being smart, creating something from nothing, and encouraging each other, as well as getting scrappy and creative. So get in there and engage, because there's very no other, honestly, community like it. And this is when the whole community is like lit up like Christmas lights. Basically, it's amazing in there.
Yeah, Cat's Perfect Soaps just joined. Yay, woohoo. I'm glad you're inside the challenge. And yes, it's rockyourholidaypromotions.com, but I'll have the team keeps dropping in the link. So it's rockyourholidaypromotions.com.
Yeah, I think you missed the S. It's
You can also go
cat.
to
Yeah.
theproductboss.com/holiday and you can sign up if
Yeah.
that feels easier. So we're so excited to see you inside. Here's what I want you all to know. Okay, if you're listening, listen to this, okay? Try and show up live next week if you can. Please try and show up live. And if any of the days you're like, okay, I've got other things that are going on, I can't show up every day at live. Day 3 on Wednesday is the most important day. So on Wednesday, make sure to block out that time and come on Wednesday if you can't make anything else, because on Wednesday, this is where we're going to teach you how to generate revenue. This is where we're going to teach you what to focus on. If you're worried about a recession or people not spending, or, Margie said that she's having issues right now on fair.com and she doesn't feel like it's working as well as she wanted it to work, but she did get a good order today. When you come on Wednesday, this is where we're going to talk about how to diversify where your sales are coming from, how to diversify your visibility, how you can become profitable. Because these are the things that are going to help you ride out any storm. These are the things that have helped thousands of people ride out the last few years and all the sort of ups and downs to it, right? So make sure to be there on Wednesday.
Yeah, that was one of the stories. We've been on Lori Harder's podcast. She's fantastic. On Chris Harder's podcast, there was, I think it was like E.T., the hip hop preacher or something, was his handle. I kind of looked him up. He has a book and everything. And he was talking about the economic shift. And he was saying, and I loved this, I put it in our story. So when all of you go get coffee, it's like the next 2 stories. And it was, he said something like, it's not that I'm going to ignore what's happening, because they asked him about, the economy, if there's a recession. He's like, it's not like I'm planning to ignore it or anything like that. It's that I'm not going to focus on it. I'm focusing on the things that I can do. And so, because, if you focus on the recession and the things that you cannot do and how that's going to stop you and all these things, it's only just going to stop you. That's you get what you expect sort of scenario. But if you don't, if you focus on what you can do, if you use this time to really get resourceful, the most successful people, they're, a lot of times, Jacqueline and I talk about like you're led into the room, right? Well, we ended up creating our own room that we invited all of you into. The ones that I see, and we're in a lot of masterminds, peer masterminds, some up to 20 million, like a lot. The really good thing they're good about is handing out resources to each other. It's almost like that's the benefit of being in the room, is like they actually help each other go up, 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 because they're focusing on what can I do? What can I do? So make sure all of you understand that that community is like gold, and not only is it, well, what we teach you is gold, obviously multi-stream machine is gold, but if you're around other people that are focusing on using their time, energy, and money towards making more good time, energy, and money, then it'll only help all of you, So I think that that's where I want to leave it. But check out our stories and you'll kind of get that first blip of what I was talking about.
So go get into Rock Your Holiday Promotions Challenge. If you already set up for the workshops, you're automatically in. It starts on Monday. It's 1 p.m. Eastern. So show up with us live. Day 3 is like super important. You can head over to theproductboss.com/holiday to sign up. I'm just going to give you that one because it's a little bit easier and it's totally free. And if you want to take us up on the VIP option, which you will get prompted on the second page if you want that, hundreds of you have taken us up on that. And that is where you get to meet with us every single day of the challenge, where we're going to coach in a group session where this is where we're answering the questions from the challenge. So if you have questions, we've got answers in the VIP experience. There's also the holiday blueprint. There's also the holiday content bundle where we have done for you templates that you can use as you're going through Rock Your Holiday Promotions Challenge. So it's all there. And if you're already in the challenge or in the workshops, but you've missed out on that, you can always head to theproductboss.com/VIP and sign up and jump into the VIP experience with us as well. Yeah, Alice says the VIP is great. Yeah, we're getting some incredible feedback in that group. So thank you, my friends, for being here.
Yeah,
Thank
let's
you
leave it
again.
with like a toast since it's our
I
P
thought I was
day.
going to wave like the queen.
Okay.
Toast to all of you for listening
Toast
to the
to all of
podcast
you,
and
and a
supporting us.
toast to us all together having a life-changing holiday. So make sure you get into all the free stuff, all the prizes, everything, because it will change your life. We are hoping it'll be the snowball that changes your business and your life. So cheers to all of you for being a part of our journey and for us being a part of yours.
And Minna, cheers
Yes.
to you for being my business partner and helping us grow this, because I'm really grateful for you.
Cheers to you for being the entertainer of us two and really taking on that role, and,
Anytime.
yeah, I'm really grateful for you too. So thank you, everybody. We're so happy that you're with us.
Bye, friends.
Bye.